Hola.
Hello, hello,
Hello,
everybody.
everyone. Good afternoon. Hello, Julie, Kim, Diana, Caitlin. Hi to New York City.
Welcome, guys. Hi,
Hi,
Kim.
Kim. Thank you. Yes, everybody's needing the cookie therapy today. Hey, Cheryl.
We've got you covered. So, welcome. Today, we're going to be doing, Hannah's sharing a recipe, and I'm going to be sharing some new gadgets that I got off AliExpress. I did not find them on Amazon because, the holidays are upon us. Why is this green? Of course, it has to be. I tested it just before we went live. Let's try. I unplugged it.
Do you want me to go?
I guess you could go. Why is this?
Okay. All right. So today, guys, I'm gonna be doing. Oh, is this me? Okay. Okay. I thought I was also having issues. All right. So let's see. Maybe can you guys see? All right. So today I'm gonna be doing. Um, I'm gonna be doing turkey cookies. But first, I wanted to show you how I made popular soft loft house bakery style cookies. And this recipe, I just released it on my blog. So this is the dough or the cookie dough that this recipe produces. It's very soft and sticky. So you have to freeze the cookie balls or freeze. You can refrigerate them for an hour or so, and then you can shape them. Once you refrigerate them, they are no longer sticky. And this recipe is on my blog, honeylaws.com. It's the last recipe I just released. And then you just place them on a baking sheet. I would say leave about 2 inches between the balls, and you have to flatten these. And to flatten them, I used a piece of parchment and a measuring spoon. You can also use a glass, back of the bottom of the glass to flatten these. You don't want to flatten them so they're too thin. You want to keep them maybe, I don't know, 5/16 of an inch or something like that. And then you bake them off. They bake at 350 for about 8 to 10 minutes. You don't want to let them go too brown because then they will lose their softness as they cool. So I've got them here. So you can see they're quite soft. Very, very tasty, I have to say. Very, very tasty. So I'm going to be decorating these with American buttercream. And those of you who have never made American buttercream, I also have a little quick video of how I make American buttercream. So this is unsalted butter. You want to make sure that it's at room temperature. And I'm going to gradually add my powdered sugar. Okay, and then we can mix it until it comes together, and it's going to be pretty thick. So once it kind of gets to that stage, you can add your flavorings. Now for this recipe, I used vanilla and also almond extract. I always use vanilla. I find it's like the mother of all the sweet flavors. And then I kind of build it up with different flavors. And because it is so thick, it's going to be really hard to spread. So you want to use some milk or heavy cream, if you have heavy cream, to kind of make it more pliable and spreadable. So it's easier also to pipe, or if you're spreading it on cookies. Okay, and then I colored this into different colors that I'll be using today. So I know traditionally I've seen people use for the turkeys yellow, orange, and red. So I'm gonna be doing orange, ivory, and blue. And this buttercream colors easily. It takes color really nicely, so you don't have to worry about that. All right. So I think I'm pretty much ready here. All right, so here is my first cookie. All right. I've got my buttercream here. I am using piping bags today because it's just a bit easier to do. And I've got the ivory, and I also have, so I have 5 piping bags. 4 of those have piping tip number 3. And I have one, and this is the brown buttercream. Oops. Let me clean this up. My tip is a bit messy. Hopefully it's not frosted. Okay, and this is a star tip. This is a good size star tip, number 18. All right, so this is a really good, if you haven't decorated cookies before, this is a really good tutorial, beginner project, yes. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing back and forth motion, zigzag motion. So I'm going to start here. And I'm going to go all around. If you need to, you can obviously turn the cookie. This is also, I would say, kid friendly.
This could be an activity for Thanksgiving.
See, I'm going to show you what I'm dealing with, okay? So.
Is that a sugar particle?
Oh gosh, yes, all day long. It's like it doesn't stop. There is always like a sugar crystal or something that is clogging it up. All right, so let's see if this is going to help. Yeah, sugar here in Spain, it's not the highest quality, so I've been experiencing some. This recipe, the cookies, it's a soft loft house, like bakery style cookie recipe. I have it listed on my blog. And a buttercream, it's actually, it's American buttercream, which is basically just butter and powdered sugar. If your powdered sugar has lumps, make sure that you sift it before you add it to your butter. And I have the recipe listed on the blog, so you can find it there, hanyulans.com. So this is the first layer. I know it doesn't look like much at this point. I'm going to switch, and this is, okay. No, this is not working either. Just my luck.
A lot of technical issues.
Yes. Okay, let's see if this one is going to work. Okay, it's coming out. All right, so now I'm going to go with this lovely blue. And I used the royal blue food coloring, and I added just a touch of black to kind of mute it down a little bit. I know many of you requested Thanksgiving cookies, so this is what I'm going to try to do. I have 2 designs of these, so these are quite fast to do. Is your video back?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. As soon as I saw that green screen, I was like, nope.
Well, it keeps us on our toes.
So now I'm using a star tip, creating the head. And then I'm going to continue on the bottom here. I'm going to go a little wider. Okay, now for the eyes, I'm going really with lazy way of doing eyes. These are pre-made built-in eyes that you can pick up at any craft store or online if I can get them out with tweezers. And then just place them on there. Now for the beak, I'm going to use M&Ms. Now these are small M&Ms or mini M&Ms, okay? What is this thing called? What's the...
Oh gosh, here guys, what's the term?
Hello, the animal folks. What is
Animal
this called?
anatomy, the turkey's red.
What is it called?
I don't know.
I should
Hey,
know.
Jeremy.
Hello. All
Hi,
right.
Donna.
So,
Kathleen.
gobbler, yes.
Yes.
Gobbler, yes. All right. So that's going to be done in pink. Okay, more issues with the piping tip. This is a crusting buttercream, so it does crust if you let it exposed to the air. Okay, so I'm just gonna do quickly. See?
It's a waddle. Heather's saying it's a waddle.
Oh yes, it is a bottle. Oh yes, 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 yes. Okay, so now you have to. I'm gonna try to pick this up before, so I don't damage the buttercream. So you have to let these. Aren't they cute? I think they are very cute. So oh, it has two names. The snot is above the beak, and the waddle is below the beak.
Oh,
Okay, so interesting. So you let these kind of crust for an hour or so, and then they will crust. You can also refrigerate them. Now the second design is also very um, easy, and then this is something that I'm sure many of you have seen. Well, that I think yes. Okay, that's the comb. Okay, so I'm gonna do feathers. Okay, this is a bit more, I think, a little more involved because you have to make all these sections, but it's still very manageable. And then again, back and forth, zigzag to fill this in. You could also do this on regular sugar cookies. You don't have to use the soft cookies, but I know a lot of people really like soft cookies. And like I said, like in the previous segment where I showed how to make the cookies, you don't need a round cookie cutter. They are not cut out. You just shape the balls and then you flatten them. So it's super easy to do.
yes, it's like Groundhog Day.
Let's
Jeremy
see.
says we had this. We had the turkey talk last year about what parts of the turkey.
Yeah, last year I remember the waddle. Now I didn't. This year I didn't.
I did not commit any of that information to memory.
No, it's not important, huh?
Well, most of
You
this.
ever had the wild turkeys come to your to your
No,
backyard?
I don't live in a neighborhood where.
We had like 100. I woke up or whatever. I not woke up like, but I was whatever. I spotted them. It was like 100 of them in the backyard, like out of nowhere. It was
The
almost
wildest
scary.
thing I see are feral cats.
Oh, well, they can be pretty scary as well. If it's a mean cat. But
Hello,
it
Joe.
was. Hello, Joyce Joseph. And now I'm gonna do ivory on the side. Now, obviously, you can do any number of different colors. Like I said, you can do more traditional with yellow, and I decided to go with blue because it
We have a
just
question here from Sabah. Han, your recipe on your blog for the royal icing, if
yes,
I'm not mistaken, you have a version that's egg whites, right? Because
yes.
she's
I had a. I actually on the blog, guys, you can find I think 5 or 6 recipes for vanilla icing. Not to confuse you, obviously, but there is a blog post that includes recipe with meringue powder, and it's all in one post. Meringue powder, fresh egg whites, and pasteurized egg whites. So you have 3 options there. The
yeah.
recipes obviously are very similar because royal icing it's just egg whites and powdered sugar and flavorings, whatever you add. But it is on there. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the body. And the body, you can also option just if you're a beginner, you can just do a round body if you want. You don't have to do the whole head and the body. So I'm doing one star and then going around it. Okay.
They're loft house cookies.
Loft house cookies, yes. Like I was telling Mar, I'm not a big fan of eating cookies with um, butter, like a lot of buttercream, but these are really good. I have to say, like I've been munching on these. They're very good. Okay, now for the eyes. Like I said, this is easy to use. These are ready to use pre-made eyes from Wilton, and this is a candy mini M&Ms. Okay, it's a little dark. Huh?
Perfect. Looks like a little hand, I have to say.
Yes, yes, it does. So now the waddle or snoot and a waddle, right? So I've got two of them here.
Very
Should I do one more?
sure if you want. Do you have a, is
I'll
it,
Okay, I'll do one more. I'll do this one. I'll do the. Which one do you like better? I mean, this one I do like the hand quite a bit. I mean, this with the feathers. You could also. I forgot one thing. Oh, okay. I'll do that next. I forgot one thing. So here is another one. You see, this is very like you see. It's not the prettiest cookie. Like it has, I mean, it's not a cutout cookie, obviously, but they are very, very tasty and easy to make. Kids can help make the cookies also. They can shape them.
yeah, Cynthia's saying the hand one reminds her of like kid crafts, when they would.
Yes,
trace
it
the
does. It also reminds me of that as well. One thing to remember with buttercream, when you're working with buttercream, once you are piping, the heat of your hand is going to, if you're using this bag for 15, 20 minutes, the heat from your hand is going to slowly start loosening up that butter. So
hot
if it
hands.
comes to, hmm?
If you have hot hands.
You have hot hands. Yes, if that happens, just set it aside. Maybe put it in the fridge, or even if in front of, that's what I did, in front of the air conditioning, and it will kind of firm up in a little bit.
Reduce the chances of it.
Okay. So now the body. Oh, almost forgot again. You can also use, and this would be like use some white nonpareils just for some. Okay. Now this once if you freeze it or chill it, it will firm up because it's butter, and then you could also paint it with like luster dust and things like that if you want to. Okay. So it's one star in the middle, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this is gonna be a big head. Okay. And then going down here.
Kathleen's saying it reminds her of a firework. I guess you could do it for New
Yeah,
Year's.
that would be fun. Oh yeah, that's a good idea for New Year's.
It's buttercream, Julie.
Yeah, this is buttercream. We don't normally work with buttercream, but Mar's been working with buttercream for many weeks now. So, and I also just released this recipe on the blog, and I have a video coming up on YouTube soon as well. Now I'm gonna use a mini M&M. I don't know what other candies you could use. I have here, these are Reese's, but they are bigger,
Yeah.
This is a regular size like M&M, but that's a
You
Reese.
could use the sunflower seeds.
Oh yeah, if you have those. Oh, it looks like a Native American headdress. So there.
Very cute.
All right. Who's done? So yeah. So
Awesome.
that is my project for today. Okay, you see. This will look really nice on your Thanksgiving table. I think super festive and really easy to do. You don't have to.
Could you switch out the flavors?
For the cookies, yes, you could. These are vanilla with a hint of almond, but you can you obviously use maybe lemon zest, lemon extract. I don't know what kind of flavors you prefer, but you can. I believe you could also add some coffee flavored because there is sour cream in them. So you could add, I suppose, coffee into sour cream to dissolve it, or instant powder or something like that. So I don't know what flavors are you looking for, but yes, you can obviously play with different flavors. I also wanted to remind you guys, those of you who don't know yet, I have a class coming up this Saturday actually, and there are a few spots left, so you can check it out. During this class, we'll cover different topics like consistencies and how to color royal icing, especially black icing. I know that's been asked so many times, so I'm going to demonstrate that. And we will also decorate 4 different Halloween designs using one cookie cutter. This is a pumpkin cutter. So you don't need a lot of cutters for this class, just one cutter. We're going to decorate, like I said, 4 designs. Jack-o'-lantern, what else? Dracula, what else is there? This scary pumpkin. I'll show you how to make the eyes, and it'll be lots of fun. So you can sign up over at Global Belly, and link is easily accessible through my Instagram Instagram bio, where you click on the bio link, and then you can sign up for register for the class. You still have time, so I hope you guys consider it, and we'll have lots of fun on Saturday. Class is at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, which is New York time. Awesome. Thank you for purchasing the kit.
Awesome, Han. So check out her class. And now
I just want to quickly, these are they're on the blog, Loft House Cookies. Okay, so you can check those out there. All right, it's all yours.
and the camera's working. Is the light
Okay.
on?
Okay.
Focus is not good.
Oh, it was there. It's there. It's there. Excellent.
Let me just get the focus on. All right. So I'm going to show you guys a few photos. I purchased from AliExpress these new. They're not necessarily new, but they're getting more common. I want to say. I think they were specialty things. So you're getting an acrylic plate that has been laser etched, and so your fondant gets embossed. Okay. And so they've got different designs. I published today on YouTube a tutorial to do the sugar skull. So I purchased 3 of these. So this is the photo that was with the listing on AliExpress. I do have a supply list on in my coffee shop if you want to get the links. If you're on Patreon, all the supplies are listed there. Okay, and this is my version of them. So this is what I do. Yeah, they look very different, and they're not super big. I'll show them here in a second. And so the tutorial for that, everything, like walk you through it, is on YouTube. Today I'm going to be showing these. Now this is again the photo from AliExpress. You can see there's 9 designs. I bought 4 of them, so I'll be showing you guys these. And yeah, so these are some of the supplies that I use. So the plaques and the cutters, you can buy them either as a set or separate. You don't have to buy the cutter. You can just get the embossing plate. Ideally, you're using pre-colored fondant if you opt to go with a colored fondant, because if you're mixing in food color, you make it like stickier, and as soon as the fondant is sticky, it's very difficult to get it to release. I find that a small rolling pin works better than the big one, because you're working on a small thing. The big rolling pin tends to be a little cumbersome for the project. Okay.
Would you say that you work with, Heather has a question, with modeling chocolate? Would it work?
I did not test with modeling chocolate. I didn't have it. But from what I remember, I haven't used modeling chocolate a ton, but from what I recall, it is pretty, I want to say, like dry. Like it's not a thing that's very tacky. So I would say probably yes. But I did not experiment. So you're going to have to do your own experimenting. So I just want to show you guys the difference between, so the Halloween version and the Sugar Skull version. I don't know if my camera can even show you guys. So the Sugar Skull detail, the lines are very, 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 very fine in comparison to the, if you see here, these holes are much deeper and wider. The Sugar Skull is literally like, the lines are like a hair. And so you're not really going to succeed pushing in cookie dough in this. I did test it out, and basically I didn't get anything like it really did not give a nice result, okay? But I did experiment with the cookie dough for the Halloween version, and this is cookie dough that was pressed into the Halloween molds. So this is not fondant. This is chocolate dough. I did film the video. Here it is. So I'm just dusting I use chocolate because I like to be able to paint it. I guess you could do vanilla, but I do like that the chocolate, you're able to kind of add the white, and it gives it kind of like a more antique-ish, I guess, look. And the flour goes away once they bake. The fat kind of like, you know, it evaporates or dissipates. And so once you've got the impression, you can use the cookie cutters that are designed to fit specifically on the plaque. Now, I want to mention, I don't know if you guys have ever had or made whatever, a 3D cutter. A 3D cutter, the way that they are fabricated, okay, why am I showing that again? The way that a 3D cutter is fabricated, it's basically string that goes around and around and around, and it's drawing it. And so this is AliExpress, not always the most amazing quality. So I did find that the walls of the cutter would sometimes separate and dough would get stuck in between this. I've had 3D cutters that are, you know, not necessarily top notch from other manufacturers, other sellers have this occur. So I'm just telling you guys. So once you've got the thing embossed, you don't have to use that exact cutter. You can use a square, rectangle, a plaque, whatever. But that was the negative with regards to the actual cookie cutter. So this is the dough. I froze it, and once it was frozen, I airbrushed it. And I find that when you airbrush the white on, it just gives a much more even coverage. I use Wilton. It's called white icing color. It's basically to make, like, to, you know, butter. When you make buttercream, it's yellow. And so it's to whiten.
You use that in your airbrush?
I do. It's quite liquidy.
Did you, so you use it straight from a bottle, or do you
I do use it straight. It's a quite liquidy product. So these are baked, actually. There in this photo, those are actually baked. So I'll show them here. I have them.
Awesome.
So you can see I experimented with painting.
Have you seen, Debbie's asking, have you seen Christmas ones?
They do have Christmas ones. And if you go in my coffee shop, it's the free supply list. I link the Sugar Skulls, the Halloween, and the Christmas version. So Christmas, you'll have time to receive.
It's in Marley's coffee shop. The link is at the bottom.
And if you're on Patreon, I did add them there too. Okay, so here is after they were white, baked.
So
you see
here.
Did you
bake? Sorry, we need to back up. So did you spray the white before you baked it?
I do. I find that when you spray before you bake, it like sets it, and it's like less sticky, and it like really it's kind of like
it's like become part of the finish. It's not, yes.
Yeah. It's like less because when I painted, it didn't like activate the white. It was like really like it was
like it was part of the cookie. That's great.
Yeah.
So did you do you think that it would work for the crackle effect? The white food coloring you're using?
Well, the thing about the crackle effect, to get a really nice crackle, you have to add a little bit of baking powder for that expansion to happen. And so if you do that, the expansion will cause the design to warp, to get like screwed up. And so it's less ideal. But I mean, I find that it still gives them a certain kind of look, you know. And then I painted them with, I have like edible oil paint, if you can believe that. But it didn't,
Edible oil paint.
yeah, it didn't dry completely, and so I didn't love it, but I just wanted to show it to you guys. So this is an option, and then there are crevices. I guess you could fill like the pumpkin here in royal icing. If you were to do a really runny royal icing, it would like sink and just kind of like varnish the area. Another thing you could do is maybe that, you know, like that sugar kind of stained glass look that some people have done there. It's with cornstarch or something. You could do that in the sections to add some, you know, some color and some pizzazz to them. Here, I just want to show you guys the sugar skull. You see the difference.
Oh, they're not that big in the picture because it's a close-up. It looks huge,
Yeah.
the sugar skull. It's
So
not
it's a
that huge.
completely different look, you know? So if you want to learn how to make these, they're in my free public YouTube. I just published them. So question I got on that video is how the black paint dries. It dries very well. You can see here the bag. It's not like sticky or dirty from the design. Airbrushing dries very well. And so you don't have to really worry about it adhering to the like it doesn't stay wet. So I'm going to do one of the fondant things. I'm trying to see which one is the green one that I used. The one with the owl.
So how would you go about using, if you were using vanilla cookie, like a pale, you know, colored cookie? Would you?
Well, you could airbrush it, I guess, in a darker color, like in purple or in you know, like a more Halloweenish colors. So I didn't wash them. That's why they're like, they still have remnants of fondant, because I didn't have time to dry them. If there's even the slightest amount of water stuck in the holes, well, your fondant's going to get really like mucked up, you know. And so that's.
So did you use your regular chocolate chip cookie recipe?
I used a shortbread, and I replaced a half a cup of the flour with the cocoa just to get them to be this color. I wanted them to be brown. There, I'm trying to get the focus. Okay, so I bought the small, here you can see in the picture, I bought the small packages of fondant. So Satin Ice sells these small pouches. They make about 5 cookies, about. And then Wilton sells, I showed it to you before, eh?
Yes, you did.
And
It's
Wilton sells this. It's a package like a party kind of set, and there's 4 colors in it. So I bought 2 versions, and I have to say, some people say like the Wilton, if the taste is the problem, fine, I can accept that. But consistency, it worked the best out of like the ones that I tested. So I'm going to be working with the green. The Satin Ice was very temperamental. When I did the white, it was fine. But for some reason,
you think it's because of all the color that it's added to the fondant, that it does something? I don't know.
Well, usually they'd formulate it. You'd think they'd formulate it so that it wouldn't have that problem. But it was really like a total pain in the butt. Okay, so you need cornstarch so that your fondant doesn't stick in the mold.
Okay.
I'm just throwing some gloves on. Ideally, like I say, the little rolling pin is, I like the little rolling pin so that, you know, this is a small, like you have the big thing, it's just cumbersome for no reason. And this
also have this rolling pin. I use it for so many things, not just for fondant. I actually use it for bread when I make the buns and stuff. It's very handy.
$3 or something. It's very affordable. Like if you get it at Michael's, you can use your coupon. It's not one of those, you know, some stuff is pricey. That's not one of the things that's going to break the bank.
And it comes with the guides.
It comes with the guides. Yeah.
Yes, it comes with the guides that you put on. And
okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just like widening it a bit so that it's the width of the thing. So I found that the depth of the design was not consistent. Like sometimes it was deeper than others.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's better to use like a thicker-ish clump to make sure that you get into all of the.
Are you adding cornstarch now?
I'm adding cornstarch to both sides, okay? Because sometimes it was sticking to the rolling pin and it would pop out because it was, so then you'd get a jump on your design. So you don't want it to stick to the rolling pin. So I'm starting in the middle and then I'm kind of expanding it, you see, instead of like going all in one direction. So I'm going and you're just rolling so that it's completely like squished into the design there. Looking for my silicone mat. Okay, so now you can see on the other side when you flip it, if you've gotten like past the design, you can see like right here, I'm barely past the owl's horn. I can see it, but for the purpose of this live, I'm gonna accept it. Okay, so if you see it pops right out.
So Katie, I don't know if you had a chance. We get lots of comments, guys. So sometimes if we don't reply to all of them, it's very, I hope you understand it's not possible. But Katie is asking if you saw her comment. She was on your YouTube video about she had a suggestion on how to work with
I
it
did
better.
see it, and I actually replied, I'm looking for my silicone mat. I wanted to cut it on here. Let me get
Kim is also blaming you for costing her a fortune. She's been able to AliExpress, but she wants a Christmas set.
So here is the cut, and so I'm working on. I had a piece of silicone. Oh, there it is. It's just so that when you cut it, well, it doesn't get stuck to the surface, right? You want to be able to easily lift it off, or else if when you press with the cookie cutter and then you adhere it to your surface, well, then you have a chance to mess it, right? So now I'm doing a circular motion. 3D cutters aren't terribly sharp. They don't give the most amazing cut line. They're not like steel. They more like squish. So when you do this kind of like turning, it helps to
I do that also. Yes,
yeah, it helps to get a better cut. Now you see my horn is missing, but it was to show you guys how that works. So that's basically as quick as that. So now we're going to attach to the actual cookie. So I'm just going to put my fondant back because it's not a perfect roll. And we've got to move along. Got to be efficient. This is live. No time for dilly-dally.
She says that she's basically broke because of you.
Oh. Okay, so first thing I want to show the sugar skulls. So in the video, I did them in white and I airbrushed them. And if you want to see, I do like, it's not a fast instrumental. It's really the detailed video. I'm going to take off these gloves. My hands are sweating. So I'm going to just show you guys how to paint them. So I have a special paint. It's by AmeriColor and it's actually for stamping on cookies. It's made specifically for stamping, Stamp Pad Edible Ink, and it's by AmeriColor. I bought it directly from them, from their website. And so I'm just going to add a few drops to this dish. And then I'm using cosmetic triangles. So these are really cheap. You can pick them up at the dollar store and you have a nice flat surface to paint with. Because what's this embossing business, right? You have raised lines and then the design is pushed back. So if you have a flat surface and you're just tapping, well, you're only going to paint the raised lines. You're going to leave the back untouched. So if you can, and the other thing that I wanted to do, I have my scissors here. I want to slice one of these guys in two to make it a bit smaller. So they're very easy to cut. You just take your scissors and you can trim it, and then you'll be able to do a little bit smaller sections, okay? So you just dip this into your ink, and you don't want it soaked. You don't want it to drip into your design, right? And now I'm just touching the top. And do you see my design?
This is magic.
is coming to life as I just barely touch the top. Now, you're better to pass twice than to come in with a super heavy amount of pigment on the sponge. It will leak into the areas, and you can see it gives a completely different look from here. Let me move you.
Everybody's loving it. Okay, give us a high five if you guys loving it in the comments. I don't know if there's a is there an emoji? Not the whatever. Give us a thumbs up.
Just show us some love.
Show us some love. Yes, exactly.
All right, so now for this guy, same thing. So him, what to be mindful, his hat is a lot of indent, and so the sponge quickly touches the green. So I'm staying over here. There's some flowers on the edge of
Everybody's loving it. Yes.
his face. He's got his mustache.
High 10. Sally's giving you high 10.
So you could do this with a paintbrush, but I mean, I don't know. There's a little bit of like, you know, I am getting a bit of color in areas where maybe I wouldn't want it, but I don't think that a paintbrush, the amount of more time that it would take me to do it, I don't think it's that much prettier. Like it would take forever if I was to come in here with a paintbrush. This way.
Cool. Everybody's loving it. High fiving us. Hello. High five.
So here is this version, you see here.
Hey, Lynn.
It's just, hi, Lynn. So you can see just green, and you can see it here colored. It just, you know, I think the green one's just as nice. But the airbrush.
We did have a question. I don't know if I can. Sue was about the. Did you adhere the fondant to the cookie first? Julie was asking.
No, I didn't, because sometimes the paint, let's say, gets messed up. Well, I don't have to waste a cookie. So I'm just going to use the ones that I like. So now I've got gold paint. Since this one is so dark, it's purple, I'm going to try to use this gold paint. Here, it's not cooperating. I've got gold paint everywhere. Some reason the bottle like leaked. So give me a second here. I got technical difficulties. All right, it's all like gelatinish. Doesn't this thing know it's live? Start cooperating.
I bought while she's working. So this is, have you guys tried these? These are yogurt flavored. You know how I have my affinity for gummy candies or pears or whatever. It's so big. I bought yogurt flavored. Is it working now?
It is. So, oh, see, I did a clump, and that's pretty much messed up now. The black ink is made basically for stamping. This is like more like a.
I think like this would be really good. Like if you wanted to like maybe accentuate some of the areas with gold, and still very pretty.
It's not bad, but it's not as meticulous. The black is like made for stamping, and this is like.
Maybe that's why. Yes, probably that's why.
Not cooperating as much as the black, but it's not horrible. But
oh, Lynn, I have not tried orange freshly squeezed orange juice for my royal. I have not tried it. I don't know if it's acidic enough for the flavor to actually come through. I have no idea. I have not tried it, but please keep me informed if you do try it. I should probably try it because oranges are very, abundant here in Spain. But I would definitely strain the juice a couple times so you don't have any lumps in it.
Yeah, you don't want to have you'll have more than sugar particles in your piping tip. So yeah. So the other thing, I don't know how well this is going to dry. The black dries completely, okay? So that's the thing about that black. So I just wanted to show you guys that option. So let's bring in one of these guys. So I'm going to actually do black on this one. I hadn't done this yet. So let's try to paint one of these Halloween versions. So I'm just gently dabbing.
It is so satisfying to watch. I don't use that word a lot, but this is very satisfying to watch.
So there's a little spider, there's a castle in the background, and you can see there. Okay. Isn't that cute?
So, Lynn, there's a comment from Sally. If you want to check it out, she used the orange juice in Royal. It's awesome. I love it. I think like the cookie should have a bright color. It should be like a bright colored cookie. It's like magic. It is like magic.
There's an owl here you can see come to, and then here's a spider web, and you can see all the details now. They come to, you can just see the whole thing, because you can see their version here that's, like I said, listed with the cookies. They're nice, but you can really see it because they played with the light, right? They've got the shadow and stuff.
Yes. Yes.
This way, I mean, you're able to see the design a little bit more.
So Elizabeth is quickly asking, she just got here, what are you using to stamp on the pumpkin? Maybe that's a lot of people will ask about that.
I'm using a makeup sponge. Hold on a second. So I've got, it's a triangle. If you go to the cosmetics section, they're called cosmetic wedges, and they're really cheap. You get a bag of them, and that's what I'm using because it's got a very flat surface and it's got a lot of like grab area. And then when you're done, you can wash them, but if you don't feel like washing them, you cannot wash them. So for this here, this one here, it's obviously jet black. So let's see if the white will work. So I'm going to use the white that I actually use to airbrush with.
The black food coloring is specifically designed for stamping from Americolor brand.
It's Stamp Pad Edible Ink. That's what it's called. So I'm going to cut another one of these sponges. They cut like super easily. You don't have to fight with it to cut it. And again, I'm not loading a lot of the white on my sponge. There's a witch. There's trick or treat at the top. You can't make that out. And there. So for the cookie version of this, you can fill the letters. See, the letters are pressed in. So you could carefully fill in those sections with icing.
Do you have, sorry to interrupt, do you have the link for the ink for the edible in the coffee shop?
I did put it in, no, I didn't add that in the coffee shop, but the only place I saw it was on Americolor's website. That's where I.
So Elizabeth, so you need to go to americolorbrand.com, I guess that's the website, and put in that's a black paint for stamping, black edible paint for stamping, and
I'm sure they have like a search bar, and you just write stamp.
Yes. Otherwise, for all the rest of the tools Mara is using today, you can visit her coffee shop. Link is at the bottom of the screen where the little red heart is. And she has a listing of the supplies along with all the templates. And also, do you have, somebody was asking, do you have your recipe for chocolate cookies there still?
It is, yeah, it is there.
So it is also there. I think it was, Katie was asking, yes. So it's still on in there.
So you see the dark ones need to be stamped. I mean, you can't even make it out. It's not even worth it to do, right? Look at that. I mean, it's so much nicer. Let's try to add some white to this sucker.
Julie is asking, can you airbrush colors on before stamping the black on?
Well, that's, if you go on YouTube, you'll see me do exactly that. So if you want.
So Marlon also has a video out. You just released it?
It's just released today. I actually put it in the description box. If you look in the, pretty sure it's at the top in the description box of today's live. And you'll see me make these cookies in the video. And so it's all airbrushed and everything. Okay.
Check out YouTube and Montreal Confections. Now, Lou is asking, speaking of white food color, this is a really good question. What's the best white food coloring for airbrushing?
Here it is. It's what I'm using. There coverage for white is really not.
So, I know it's kind of a little blurry. So this is a Wilton brand
Yeah,
Marlon is using, and this is a coloring, food coloring that is primarily used for buttercream, right?
it is. It's primarily used to take the yellow tinge out of your
Out of
butter.
the cream. So it comes liquidy, and Marlon is using it straight from a bottle in her airbrush. Does it clog up your airbrush?
It doesn't, but if you find that it's too thick, you can always dilute it with a little bit of Everclear. But as far as coverage, I mean, I'll show you again the chocolate cookies that were painted. This is the thing that gives the most coverage that I've found in my years of trying different products. Nothing is quite as white as this particular product, and it airbrushes really well. It dries.
Oh, Valeria, give me a couple of years, and I'll promise I'll
Look
speak
at how
Spanish.
cute that. I like this one once it's painted.
Beautiful. I like the ghost.
Where's
So
my
I had a question: is it the fondant called CMC or Tylos? So I think neither.
This
No.
fondant is the black and purple is by Satin Ice. If I can mention, I didn't even think to look when I bought it. The expiry date on the purple was like now, and so it's super dry and yucky to work with.
Oh,
But the Wilton was excellent, I have to say. I didn't taste it, but it was great to work with. It released really well. The Satin Ice White worked really well when I did the skulls, but it did not work. The colored one did not work. And then they sell another product at Michael's, but when I went online and looked at the reviews for that particular fondant, the feedback consistently was that it was extremely, extremely sticky. And so I skipped. I did not buy that.
yes, Heather. Yeah, I agree. Tylos is different. I don't know. Maybe there is a brand of fondant that's called Tylos. Tylos powder is it's a different product. It's not a fondant per se.
I'm just going to paint one more and then we'll attach it to the cookie, okay? So I'm making them, I'm painting them. So when you're making a lot of cookies, you want to create basically some sort of an assembly line, some sort of a process so that you can work in a reasonable amount of time. Very good. It's fun. We're having a good time, but it stops being fun when it's taking 5 hours. So you want to create some sort of a work, so that it produces a little bit. So yeah, I wanted to show you again these guys. So here, you see how white, like this is the same cookie as this, but it's been painted. So you see how
What a difference! Yes, you can barely see the design on the one on the right.
it's a
As
very good coverage.
yes.
And so what I do when I'm attaching my pre-painted fondant, so I use a paper towel, my thing is dry, my ink has had time to dry now. I added a really small amount. I
I
wasn't
like this one a lot. The head is fantastic on it.
Yeah, the other one I went a little crazy, eh? This one's a little bit too much black, but I mean,
No,
it depends.
I'm fine. No, I don't think so. I don't think when
So where's my water? So you can use different things to attach your fondant to your cookie. I like to use just water. You can use cornstarch. Some people use,
piping
piping gel or things like that.
cornstarch, not cornstarch, corn syrup.
Yeah, but water makes it sticky enough, and then so it's upside down, and then I flip the cookie upside down. You see, like that, and then I can pick up the paper towel and just like flip it over, and look, there's no ink on the paper towel. That's how and so
How
if
long is this the one you just did?
yeah, yeah.
Wow, so it dries like instantly, pretty much.
So I had made these a little bit ago, like about an hour before the live. This
Oh
fondant is
yeah,
really, really fresh.
I agree with what Dan is saying. That's what
Yes,
it is. I couldn't articulate that, but yes, that's exactly what it kind of reminds me of. The
So
ones
you
that you
can't
use
really press,
spray.
on this because it's fresh fondant. You're going to squish and damage it.
Yes.
So if you use a cookie that has a lot of baking powder in it, well, your fit is not going to be as as perfect if around. You're going to get a lot of cookie exposed, but this is basically how quick and easy it happens. So this one here is the green one. So again, I'm flipping it upside down and just wetting it. And then the cookie, I can see very well like where it's supposed to go. I can flip it over. Look, there's no ink on my paper towel. And there. So fondant is much like everything you're going to use has different results. So this, it's fast and all that than royal icing, but you can't package it in the same way. This is more fragile, maybe a box or something, and it will get easily dinged. Oh, and I wanted to show, if you remember, if you guys watched the other lives we've done in the past, I had shown how to airbrush little leaves. Look, you could add some little fondant leaves, to the thing. You could do, look at how cute that is. You could add a little royal icing flower to the witch hat, some, the little leaves at the bottom. You could add all kinds of little details. So that's basically it. So it's too late for you to get the Halloween set in time for Halloween. So don't even bother trying with that. If you want to get them for next year, if they go on sale, you can maybe check it out after Halloween and pick them up on sale. But they do have, so I'll tell you, they have a ballerina set, they have baby shower, wedding, they have a cute 3 Christmas versions. There are 3 Christmas versions. So if you want to check it out, there's those things. And if you do buy them, if you shop via my affiliate links, I get a little commission. So that's helpful. So if you like the tutorial, that's one of the ways you can support without actually like costing you more money, because the commission, it doesn't you don't pay more because I get a commission. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that.
Julie's asking. I know we talked about this in the beginning, but
All right, I'm gonna do it.
modeling chocolate would modeling chocolate work if you?
I'm gonna do it. I've never in my life.
You're doing it. I'm opening my gummy bears.
Oh, I've never tasted a fondant covered cookie in my life.
Okay, go ahead. We are all watching you. Okay, let's switch. You're on a big screen, honey. How is it?
I mean, fondant is not something that has like a lot of taste.
Flavor? Yeah. Well, marshmallow fondant is the only fondant I worked with, but I don't know if it would work for this because it doesn't kind of it's softer. I find that like Satinize or Wilton, it doesn't have something in it that kind of makes it a bit firmer. It's softer.
Yeah, so it was very soft bite. It was very soft bite, and you just add, because this particular recipe is not a very sweet cookie, so it actually paired well. Like it's
so it was a good.
It's good. I mean, if you don't want to do the fondant, well, then you could do the all cookie version. And if you guys enjoyed it, I do have the Christmas set, one of the Christmas sets, and I do plan on using it to show it to you guys. So maybe I'll do that on Friday. I even bake the cookies and everything. So there's a snowman in there, Santa, reindeer, fun designs. And you can use some of them if they're the right size for cupcake toppers. What was that? Is there anything?
Oh, Cheryl says that sometimes people will mix modeling chocolate and fondant for a better taste. It's an option.
Sure, absolutely.
You can really play with whatever you want to play with.
So the only thing I would say is you cannot roll it like, you say, well, I'll put less, roll it really thin, because you're stretching it essentially to try to get it off of your, right? Like off of your surface.
Yes, I agree, Heather. Tylose powder and starch, yes, to make it a bit firmer, yes.
Okay, so that's
Okay,
it, guys.
so that's it for today. I wanted to also show something, but yeah, I just released the new. This is a let me
I don't
just
even own modeling
yes,
chocolate.
Tombstone. So I just released the cookie cutter template in my coffee shop. This is for the Tombstone I did a couple of weeks ago. It's a template you can use to cut out your cookies if you decide to make some Tombstone cookies. And we will be back again on Friday.
Yes, we'll be back on Friday with Amber.
Yes, with Amber. I'm off, which is
You're
fantastic.
off.
I'm so excited.
So now I'm off to get my dog. She's ready to go. I just
Oh,
got a text that she's
really, I want to open this, but I don't have scissors. Oh,
Oh, you want to eat your candy?
oh, yogurt. They actually smell very good, I have to say.
They smell good.
They're oh wow. Wow. This is good.
Oh, enjoy.
It's not like a regular gummy candy, sorry.
No.
It's very good. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks, everybody. We hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, hit the like.
We will be
Comment.
live. Okay, just a reminder, we are going to be live again on Friday, which is this Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, as always. Sweet Ames, Montreal Confections, and Daniela's will be there to entertain you.
That's it.
Okay, guys. See you then.
Bye.